Dr. Malazgirt, it's a pleasure and honor to have you here.
The pleasure is mine. The pleasure truly is mine, Dr. Kongoli.
Thank you. We evaluate your coming here because you're presenting one of the major companies in the world that started almost from nothing and became one of the biggest players in the world in almost 40 countries today.
Correct.
So you are participating for the first time, and just wanted to have some impressions about the conference and how you saw it.
My impression is just excellent, and I think what you have accomplished and your staff have accomplished, you've gathered more than 300 scientists, engineers, business people together into a gorgeous city, as you call it, the magnificent city of Rio. And it has just been a terrific 3-4 days. And then really congratulations. And the title of the conference is Sustainability, Industrial Processing. These are very appropriate terms. But I think what I really truly admired in your deliverance of the topics and the speeches that you have given, I think it's a celebration of the science and technology and celebration of the people who are in science and technology. And having a PhD and having done some science in the past, before I became more of a sort of businessman, I really do thank your focus on celebration of the people in science and technology. Thank you very much.
Thank you also. As I mentioned, your company is one of the biggest players in the world today.
Correct.
It started in 60s from a small company.
Very small trading company, yes.
Exactly, and today it's in 40 countries.
Correct.
One of the major players in various fields.
Correct.
And you are representing mining and
mining.
Processing. So, tell us a little bit about the company, how you apply sustainability, and what are, if we know, the secrets of this success.
Well, the company was started back in 1960s by the father of the three brothers. Now it's two. Unfortunately, the youngest brother passed away last year. But it's under the leadership of YILDIRIM and Robert YILDIRIM. YILDIRIM is my boss. He's the one who actually is the very entrepreneurial in nature and has a very can-do attitude, very high energy, works incredibly hard. And he truly is an inspiration to all of us. We are an industrial conglomerate coming from an emerging economy from Turkey. We are very highly profitable. We don't necessarily focus on revenues, but we focus on profitability. We have a very high energy, and we also have this can-do attitude and very entrepreneurial. And we do take risks, but most of these risks are well calculated, and we work with some of the best consulting and auditing companies, financial consulting companies in the world. So what we try to do is, if indeed there is some kind of a synergy in a merger or an acquisition, we go after it very aggressively. And especially in the metals and mining division end of it, my team, which I have really truly created from almost nothing, from just one guy to in excess of 25, 30 people, headquartered in Istanbul. We are now almost becoming turnaround artists, and we go after companies that are probably not creating the value that they deserve, and we turn around the company, as we have done it in Etikrom in the eastern part of the country. In Turkey, it's a ferrochrome operation. We've done it in Kazakhstan, a chrome operation as well. Tikvin, a ferrochrome operation. Vargön in Sweden. And so we are looking for these very synergies, and if indeed this vertical integration can also do a lot of the value creation, multiples of it, then we really go very aggressively after them, and we turn around the company and create the value. So that is how we do it. And sustainability is very important, especially in the mining end of it. If indeed you actually extract the mineral out of the underground, then you cannot replace it, and at some point in time it's finite in reserves. And we need to keep the furnaces, we need to keep the operations continue, we need to keep the people employed. As a result, this really deserves and begs for a big focus on sustainability. Sustainability in mining, sustainability in metals, and sustainability in the talent management of the people, because without the people, you cannot do it. So that is the reason why I think it's very appropriate, the conference that I am attending this year, and hopefully will continue attending on behalf of my company and Robert Yüksel Yıldırım, my boss. Sustainability is very appropriate. Thank you.
Excellent. So you presented in our plenary lecture digitalization in mining.
Correct.
So you are applying new technologies, the latest technology in the so-called old industry.
Correct.
Which is to be applauded, because
Okay.
all this old, so-called old industry can be modernized with the new tools, new softwares, and basically with digitalization, not only in mining but also in extraction, etc. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, first of all, the digitalization is going to be incredibly important, because finding the big reserves is now becoming rarer. It's less frequent, and as a result, if indeed you find a big reserve, it's important for us to be able to do the simulations with the geological tools and modeling of the reserves, so that it can be accurately planned to mine. So that is on the exploration and the geological end of it, the simulation end of it. And then the mine planning is important, because not everywhere the grade of the ore or the quality of the geotechnical stuff that needs to happen is not uniform. Therefore, it is important for us to be able to, time is money, gasoline is money, labor is money. Therefore, the mine planning needs to be also done in a very digital manner. In other words, the queuing, the scheduling of the trucks, where to mine, where not to mine, that becomes important. And then, especially underground operations, you need to now take the humans out of the mine. So we are not there yet in Turkey. We are a little close in Kazakhstan, but certainly in a few of our operations in the future, and that's what we are trying to do. Digitization will allow us to replace the humans, the labor inside the mines, by some robotics and machines. Australia, for example, has done it to a large extent. Canada is doing it, Sweden, Finland. These are the very advanced mining companies. Yes, in these, the mining could be an old profession, but now with the digitization, with the presence of sensors, with the presence of artificial intelligence, a lot of the engines, you could really truly now turn around mining industry into a digital powerhouse. And I think it's about time. The reason I'm saying that is because digitization and use of software, simulation, and artificial intelligence, especially in oil and gas, for example, gets about 30–40% of the budget from the big oil gas companies. This is not the case in mining companies, but now it's getting there. About 12–13% of the money is being spent for digitization in mining. So in our company, in my vision, we are spending a lot of money. We are reserving a lot of money for digitization and collaborating with some of the best software and simulation companies in the world to improve our digitization in our mines. We have a long way to go, but at least we are heading in the right direction.
So at the end of the day, this digitalization helps increase the profit,
correct,
make you efficient,
correct,
improve environment, and also help people's life. So that serves the sustainability. So it is not just something good to have, but it really gives results.
No, I think when you're spending the money for IT, if you're spending the money for digitization, that's what I call, in fact, I showed it in my presentation, what I call it the IT diamond. IT diamond is composed of 4 corners. It could be transactional, a lot of the operations can be. It can be also informational, meaning you can be sharing the information. For example, somebody who is doing the exploration and drilling on top of some mountain can actually be communicating real time with senior geologists who can manage more complex issues, say headquartered in Istanbul. And it could be infrastructure, can also help do it, but ultimately digitization will improve. The last tenet, the last pillar of the diamond is the strategic. So if indeed you are now taking the man out of the mines and you are now replacing them with the robots, if indeed you are replacing with the trucks and the loaders which can be controlled from anywhere in the world, that becomes strategic. And that is basically, we're not there yet, as I said, but for the sustainability of the mining operations, that's the IT diamond, which will create all these 4, the transactional, the informational, infrastructure, and then the last one, the strategic one, that can actually have the sustainability prolonged for, say, 10, 15, 20, hopefully even longer number of years.
And actually you are an example on our point of view that being sustainable is not just spending money, it's also increasing the profit.
Correct.
Because it's in the press there is a confusion. They're saying being sustainable only costs money.
Right.
Actually, being sustainable in the industry, first you increase the profits, correct? And then you protect the environment, and then you develop the people working for you. So it's not a losing business, but it's a gaining business, correct?
Correct. I mean, for many years ago, when there was a green revolution, there was that concept that if indeed you're spending the money for green activities, it's going to be costing a lot of money and it's not going to be bringing you any profits. Exactly. Along these same lines, there have been many business studies which have negated that, meaning if indeed you are green, if indeed you continue to be greener, it becomes more sustainable and it becomes more profitable. The same thing is also happening as well. One aspect of it is sustainability. Sustainability in the mining operations, also there is the social factor. The social factor, what people call, social license to operate. If indeed you're in a community which is right next to a community of, say, 40,000 people, like we are in Kromtau, like we're going to be hopefully in Colombia, in our coal mines, you also need to have your sustainable operations by adding that ingredient with the social factor. In other words, you need to create a lot of good synergy with the people in the community. And so in Kromtau we've done it many times, in Etikrom, in Elazığ we've done it over the years. We are doing it in Tikvin. We are very generous as far as our social commitments to the, say, local hospitals. For example, we're going to be now building a very elegant cultural center in Kromtau. So we, as we have entered into these countries, such as in Kazakhstan, and we also have plans of getting into Uzbekistan if indeed we are allowed, that is something we are now using strategically, because the countries or the governments in Astana, in Tikvin, in Leningrad, in St. Petersburg, can now, the governments know that YILDIRIM, YILMADEN, is a company that comes in, not just simply takes out the metals, not only takes out the minerals, but also makes a huge contribution to the community. So they invite us. The kind of the red carpet treatment that we get in Astana, in St. Petersburg, is truly very, very heartwarming. And as I said, we are now using it as a strategic tool Next week, I think in a couple of weeks' time, I will be going to Uzbekistan, and we have this template how to mine, how to be also very contributing to the social environment. So we will continue to use these. As I indicated, our success in these mining and metal operations have been so good that they are now almost becoming templates and cut and paste kind of thing with minor modifications as we go into different countries, and that's how the company grows.
So, and you have had a really, exponential growth.
Correct.
And how they wait, how they treat you means that they believe on you, meaning that on your contribution, on your profitability, and your effort to protect the environment. So give me just a number. So in 65 was a small company, and today it is in 40 countries. In percentage, the growth is how much?
I do
just
not
if
know.
You have a number? But
I do not know what the growth is, and I think we don't. Like I said, I think the thing that we focus on is profitability of the company and successful synergies. And frankly, my boss, who actually is very much fond of ports and operating ports, especially container ports, I think the proliferation of so many of these countries is a result of his big, ambitious goal of becoming one of the top operators in the world by 2025. So-called the big, hairy, audacious goal, BHAG. In YILMADEN, we are the flagship of the company, YILDIRIM Holding, but our goals are more down to earth because obviously mining operation is very risky and takes a lot of money to invest. But we will hopefully, just like what we said, sustainable and safe, environmentally sensitive mining operations, and very agile ferrochrome operations, and better process control in our furnaces. And then third strategic goal that I have defined for the company is to become YILMADEN, to make YILMADEN an attractive center for worldwide talent to come and work and go through this employment experience that we offer to them.
You are already an example of that.
Thank you.
That's why on the growth, on the talent requisitions, on the projects in digitalization, furnace control, etc. And that's why, because of this tremendous growth, which is unique, coming just from one family and becoming a world player, you know that we established this year an award, international award, bearing the name YILDIRIM, the name of the CEO of your company, Robert YILDIRIM. So now we have YILDIRIM International Entrepreneurship Award because he is one of the examples of this big growth, having sustainability in mind also. So how you feel about that?
I am proud of it. In fact, Robert Yüksel Yıldırım couldn't be with us at Rio. He was attending the conference and set up this Yıldırım Group Entrepreneurship Award, and I was proud to have given the opportunity to represent him and also the holding company, YILDIRIM Holding, and talk about our sustainability in mining digitalization. And I was proud to give the award to the first recipient, who is also a very entrepreneurial himself, and he's made a pleasant speech about pig iron production in Brazil, and we will continue to support. And I will hopefully, as you hold these meetings in attractive places around the world, I will be more than happy to represent the company and Robert as well.
You are more than welcome.
Thank you.
And you have the invitation now. Probably next year it will be in the south or in Cyprus, not far from you.
Yeah. No, we know the area. Yeah, we know the place
that's
quite
the
well.
idea. You are welcome.
Thank you very much.
And the invitation is now. Thank you again. We appreciate you coming here. You enjoy the rest of the stay and have a good trip home.
Thank you very much. Again, I want to compliment you and your staff on just putting out a great conference, collecting so many people, and I was proud to actually have had dinner with two Nobel laureates, in chemistry and physics, and this is quite a rare occurrence, at least for me. So again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.